Hello, hello. It is time for the Good Sex Talk Show. All right, I'm on a little earlier to give some time. So I was doing it at 7 o'clock on Tuesday and Wednesday. I skipped Thursdays, and so Thursday. So I'm here today at 9 to test out this time. I told you all I would be testing out all the different times. And I am currently attempting to pin the comment. If it is your first time, welcome to the show. Let me see if I can pin the comment. Unbelievable. Anywho, welcome. I don't have music on right now. Had a little bit of a meltdown with my computer. It was giving me some issues. It was kind of freaking me out a little bit because the screen went blue. It was like, your computer has encountered a problem. Molly, please don't walk over there because you're going to knock that light over. My puppy's walking back and forth. All right. How is everyone doing as you come in? Please put your name down so I can invite you because I can't see everyone who's joining. Also, please share this video. Let's get this conversation going today. It is the Good Sex Talk Show, late night goodness, delectable, sweet juiciness that we're going to have a conversation. And I am Coach Yema. Give people a little bit of time to enter and join. Let's see here. Hello. Trying to pin. There's no music on. It's Friday. It's Friday. How was everybody's weekend? Friday. Yes. How was everybody's week? Was it beautiful for you? Were you productive this week? Did you get a lot of things done that you planned to? I posted on the page last Sunday that Sundays are a really good day to schedule out your week and set expectations for yourself. And I did that this week, and I can tell you, as I've been present and focused on each day, not thinking about tomorrow, just present and focused on each day, it has made a huge difference in my productivity for the week for sure. So, and it feels like a longer week because I have been intentional about each day. I've been thinking like July and August went by so quickly. And it was because I was just having a conversation with my friend about this today. We have bi-weekly business boss babes meetings just to encourage each other and update each other and be accountable to each other for the things that we commit to do for our businesses. So I was telling her how it just felt like July and August went by so quickly, but it was because my mind was always focused on the next day or the next month. Like, what are we doing? What am I doing for the business? All these different things. And the time just went by so quickly. But now, in the month of September, as I've been intentional about being present in each day, it has made this week feel so full of productivity. I've gotten a lot of things done. I feel just more settled in that. And so if that's a tip for you moving forward, if you feel like the year is kind of running by and you're running out of time, yesterday is not your issue. Tomorrow is not your issue. The only thing that we can fully do, she's like laying on the ground here and I don't want her to knock my lights over. The only thing that we can do is focus on today. This is the only moment in this moment right now, being present, that you have any ability to affect, right? So that's what we need to be focused on. That's what we need to be doing. I can't tell what time it is. I'm just going to assume that it's 10 o'clock by now. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. Unbelievable. But I still cannot pin a comment. This is episode 25 for us, for the Good Sex Talk Show, which is really exciting. All right, I'll go ahead and get started. Since there's no music, I'll sing to you. I want to sing the song Let's talk about sex, okay? Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. All right, hello. It is the Good Sex Talk Show with me, Coach Yema. I am also the author of the same titled book, Good Sex. It is for single women. So if you are unmarried, I don't care if you're living in the house with him, you've been having a long-term boo, if they're long distance, if there is not a ring on your finger and you have not made a commitment for life in front of God and others, you are still single, my sister. So this book is for you. And if you're tired of going through sexual trauma, relationship trauma, love trauma, just all kinds of trauma related to your sexuality, that book is for you to get you whole, to get you free, because there is a possibility of you living fully integrated, fully standing in your power as a woman, coming into the world, showing up fully as you are. Because the truth is, when we have a lot of sexual trauma, sexual brokenness, whether it comes from past relationships, how we grew up, our religious beliefs, right? There can be a lot of sexual brokenness kind of put on you, right, based upon what you believe or what maybe your church or whatever it is that you believe in has put on you, all of these restrictions, and you've been living through all these different lies that have you bogged down, right? And so the lies that people say they tell, but I say the lies that they yell at you can cause a lot of internal brokenness, which obviously comes out in the way that you relate to others, especially in romantic relationships, right? And even just honestly, just in friendships, because our definition, right? A quick reminder of our definition of sexuality is our desire to know and to be known. And so my goal for this show and for what I do in general is to help you close the gap between your sexuality and your spirituality, because I want you to understand that they are two sides of the very same coin. It's the same thing, just flip sides of each other. And so for you to get really fully integrated and fully living out your spirituality, it is a requirement that you get whole in your sexuality, right? For you to fully get living your truth, right, and creating your bliss, it is extremely important that you are able to close that gap, marry the two of those things. I did a presentation at the what was it? It's the AASECT, but I always forget the A. So I think it's the American Association of Sexual Educators, Counselors, and Therapists. That is exactly what it is. So I did a poster presentation for that conference last year. And the presentation I did was closing the gap between spirituality and sexual pleasure. And I had a lot of great conversation around that. Most of the people that came up to that, because I had different questions and the answers that I got from the survey that I did, and most of the participants and attendees that came up to the board to read it were people who have been so bogged down by religion and was just really floored that anybody would put spirituality, especially a Christian, and sexual pleasure together, because the two never shall the two meet, right? As far as most of the church is concerned, but they do meet. They are a requirement. They are not mutually exclusive things, right? So that's why I'm here. That's what I'm here to share with you. And we have been talking about sexual intelligence, right? We have an intelligence quotient, right? How intelligent you are, right? Your IQ. We all have emotional IQ, and we also have sexual IQ. I talked about on the first day, on Tuesday, that if you are still trading in sexual behavior for emotional fulfillments, right? A need to feel whole, a need to feel wanted, a need to feel attractive. If you're still giving your body in the physical sex act to receive emotional fulfillment, you have a low sexual IQ, honey. So we got to raise that up, okay? So the conversation that we had on Wednesday was to help you to raise your sexual intelligence quotient, right? Your sexual IQ. So I shared an article from the HuffPost I shared it on Wednesday, so 2 days ago, and I told you all on Wednesday how amazingly excited I was to read that article. It's a little bit new agey, and if you get weird about reading about things that are from different beliefs or different backgrounds, then I want to encourage you to go ahead and do so, right? The most it can do, or the worst that it can do, is actually strengthen your beliefs, because it's gonna require you to ask more questions. A lot of times we're scared to read different things from different backgrounds of people who have different beliefs, because we think somehow whatever they tell us is going to contaminate what we believe, or is going to get us from not believing what we believe. But if your belief is that fickle and your foundation is that shallow, or just you have no foundation at all, maybe for a period of time when you're getting into something new and learning something new, you need to keep your mind on that thing and really get it in your heart and really believe it and put roots down for you. But if you have roots down in your belief system, you should be mature enough, we should all be mature enough to read other things without feeling like it's gonna contaminate us or is going to ruin our understanding of something. If anything, it should strengthen it. You should become smarter. You should become better able to explain what you believe by understanding how other people view your beliefs, or just simply what they think about the same topic, right? And so this article was talking about sexual intelligence, right? And it gave 2 avenues, right, that we express, or that you can see sexual energy expressed in your life. And in this conversation about sexual energy, of this understanding, my goal is to raise your sexual intelligence, okay? So I'm helping you get smarter sexually. And a disclaimer, sexual IQ has very little to do with you knowing different sexual positions, with you knowing different sexual, not activities, but props, okay? Knowing the different types of sexualities that are out there. I know all of those things. If I were to rely on that simply, right, only, and say that is what makes me have a high sexual IQ, then I have an extremely high sexual IQ, because I do know about all of those different things and actively pursue understanding where other people are coming from, right, without judgment. Okay, because I don't know their story. I don't know how they got to where they got. I'm not going to judge them for what they believe. I hear it, right, without judgment, so I can learn, right? Because the goal of our human existence and our human experience is to connect to other people, not to find reasons of why we shouldn't be connected. Okay, so the goal, there's a book called it's by Danny Silk. I cannot believe I can't remember it right now. Why can I not remember that book title? Turn Your Love On? I think it's called Turn Your Love On. And in the book, which was very, very good, he talked about how the goal of our human experience is for connection, right? And so when you're learning about other ways of experiencing or expressing sexuality or expressing sexual energy, and you immediately shut down, right? That is not the best way for you that is not the way for you to build relationships with people, to understand them, right? And so in all of this, right, number one, disclaimer, sexual IQ has very little to do with you understanding the mechanics of sex. Okay, that is a very little percentage of it. I tell you all the time, I definitely told you this week, 80% of everything that we do is our psychology, is what we think about what we do, how we think about what we do. 20% or even less is actually the actual mechanics of that thing, right? So in these conversations about sexual intelligence, I'm offering you a new perspective on thinking about your sexuality, on thinking about your sexual energy. And also, sexual IQ has nothing to do with you understanding the different ways that people can be oriented sexually. Nothing to do with that, okay? We are having a higher conversation about sexuality, about sexual energy, because And I went on a little bit of a rant, which is really funny because I went on a rant on Wednesday thinking that I was like going hard because on the inside I was feeling so intense about what I was saying. And then I listened to the live later. I was like, dang, I really didn't come as hard as I really thought I was coming, right? So anywho, I'm going to try to explain it a little better today of what I was saying. So this is what I was saying on Wednesday that I felt so intense about. It was like on the inside of me. I could feel my body. I was like shaking, right? So here's the thing. Here's my qualm. Here's my issue with the general conversation. Thank you for the hearts. With the general conversation that we have about sexuality, about sexual energy, okay? Let's just stick with the one term, sexuality. The problem that I have with the conversation that we were having, especially in the church, is that we are stuck on the sex act. Hey, Ransnell. We are stuck speaking about the sex act and not sexuality, because in society, for whatever reason, I mean, we had a lot of help doing that, right? It starts even in high school, even younger at home, that we are made to believe that sexuality and sexual energy only has to do with the actual sex act, okay? Your expressing of your sexual energy that may result in you, that you can express in the sexual act, is it's part of a continuum of your ability to express your sexual energy, okay? Of how you hold that energy. My name is Coach Yema. Of how you express that, it's a very, very small part of that, okay? So when we stay focused on the sex acts and everything that can go wrong with the sex act, we're treating people as if they are animals. We're treating them as if that we're just these impulsive beings that have absolutely no control, have no ability to think, have no ability to make choices, okay? And so we have this very reduced, reductionist, right, way of looking at sexuality that makes it hard for us to actually get people on the right path to where they are making smart, healthy decisions for themselves, okay? That's awesome that you're using Google Translate. I didn't know that you could use that watching a live. Or maybe because you're typing. That makes it very difficult, especially when we're speaking to young people, teenagers, makes it difficult for us to be able to help them make better decisions, because we only make it about the 20% of their sexuality, of their sexual expression, okay? So I have a very, 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 very big problem with that. I get it, because I mean, we have all kinds of things on the internet that can help you if you are in a long-term committed loving relationship that can help you with the mechanics. But you can't even do the mechanics if your psychology around it, if how you think about it, if what you think about it is all jacked up, right? So what's the point of me giving you the keys to a car to drive down the road, right, if I haven't taught you the purpose of having a car, right? If I haven't, taught you the way how you should behave on the road, like I'm gonna teach you how to drive and that's it, okay? It doesn't make any sense. It's actually very, very silly. Can I write it in the comment? Can somebody help me write it in the comments? The theme and the topic is actually in the description of the video. So we are talking about sexual intelligence, and I'm communicating that we all have a level of sexual intelligence, our sexual IQ, and I will venture to say that the majority of our society, I can tell from the way that we operate, from the movies, the songs, the education system around this, that even educators in our high schools, right, middle schools have very low sexual IQ from what we're teaching, or at least the people who are writing the curriculum have very low sexual IQ, okay? That is even why I go and speak to schools, to students, right? Because the goal is to get you thinking higher, right? The goal is to get your mind I'm watching my puppy because I really don't want her to step on these wires. The goal is to get your mind thinking at a higher level, to raise you to a higher plane of existence. Okay? Because the conversation that we're having right now is very natural, it's only physical. Okay? And if you only focus on the very small part of sexuality, you will not be effective. I'm not focusing on, right? This is why I am effective in what I do, because I'm not focusing on just the 20% of that, because you can teach that. That's easy, okay? I can read that and follow a list of to-dos. That's very easy. But to raise you up to a higher place in your thinking and in your experience of your sexual energy, right, raises your sexual IQ. That is the goal, okay? So that you can make healthy, smart decisions with your sexuality that is in alignment with your values. That is the goal, and that you understand. So let me go now into my puppies right here. She is always into, what's up, baby girl? I'm on the live right now. Can I be on live? Can you fall back for a second, ma'am? Now she put her head on my lap. My puppy's right down here. Molly, can you sit and get down? Thank you, mama. I don't want you laying on this hot thing. Okay. All right, sorry about that. So let's talk about the higher plane of sexuality and of sexual energy, and let's talk about how do we raise ourselves up to that, okay? The first thing that we need to know, right, which I've already shared, the physical sex act, right, is only a part of the continuum of the ways that we are able to express sexual energy, okay? Your sexual energy is your life force. Part of the two avenues this article talks about is the first one, that your sexual energy drives you to be procreative, right? To thrive, to keep the human race going. That's the physical part of it, okay? Your sexual energy, the second way, expresses itself in your creativity and your pursuit of pleasure. Non-sexual act pleasure, right? But in your pursuit of pleasure, in eating good food, in traveling and experiencing beautiful places, in having beautiful conversations with people, in creating a piece of art, right, that brings pleasure to other people, and writing a book, right? Because we are creative beings. We were created, right, in the image of God. He is a creator, therefore we are creators, okay? And especially as women, right, we birth things out, okay? That is part of our sexual energy, right? That has nothing to do with the sexual act. It can be used as a metaphor to help you understand, like you conceive a piece of art, right? Think about it. Egg meets the sperm, there's conception. You conceive it and then you birth it out, and it's in the world to be experienced by yourself and other people, right? So that is part of your sexual energy. So when we think about that and know that we have a decision, right, to actually come into alignment, to bring our spiritual, emotional, and sexual selves all into alignment to create a life, right, of truth and of ecstasy, right? Because even when we hear certain words, we automatically think the bedroom. When I say ecstasy, people think bedroom. When I say pleasure, people think bedroom, right? Okay? When I say the word lust, people automatically think sexual immorality. That does not compute for me, because even the Bible says that God lusts after us. All lust is a strong desire for something. Take away this sin thing that we have attached to everything that has this penalty of like, oh my goodness, if I'm lusting, you can have a strong desire for something. You are allowed to have a strong desire for something. That is the way God created us. I used to say for a really long time that, and I still say it though, but I got corrected about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I would say I have a very addictive personality. And I would say it all the time, and it manifested itself in very different ways in my life. But then I was having a conversation with God one day, and he was like, I created you that way. Because when I say I have an addictive personality, what I'm saying is once I latch onto something, I'm not gonna let it go because I keep wanting it. I keep wanting to do it. It becomes a part of who I am. That is how you were created, to pursue and live the thing, the reason for why you're on this earth. Your big why. You are to be addicted to that thing, to keep going, to get you committed to it, to have that hunger that keeps you going to pursue it. That is a part of your sexual energy expressing itself in your life. This is the higher conversation. Okay? So if I tell a teenager or if someone who's unrenewed in their mind that their sexual energy needs to be stopped until you're married, because you cannot express sexuality at any other time other than when you're in a long-term committed relationship, I am doing you a huge disservice. Because I'm telling you, that's why it feels so unnatural. That's why we don't do it. Okay, so for the people who may say, well, no, I'm celibate, or no, I'm a virgin, okay, you're probably, not everybody, I'm not going to be general. I'm sure there are some people who are have very strong willpowers who are doing this thing, okay? But I'm pretty sure for a majority of people, I'll speak for myself, okay, that you are probably still having conversations that could be considered dirty, right? You're still being extremely flirtatious. That is still you expressing your sexual energy because that is you wanting to be known and to know, okay? You may not be having vaginal intercourse. Okay, I was watching a show, and it is Working Moms, because I brought this up before because it's so funny. She was one of the characters in the show, went to Catholic school, right? And they would say every hole but the holy hole, okay? Which is religion giving you permission, right? To do everything else, but to still be able to say that I'm a virgin. That is jacked up. That is so broken. That is so handicapped and disabled way of thinking about sexuality and forcing people into a box that God never called them to be in. It is a higher conversation. So if I start to understand and get acquainted with the fact that the sex act is only one way, okay, on the continuum of a way that I can express my sexual energy, that moves me into a place of not having to be this staunch, religious, hardcore, basically, because at this point you're pretty much like hating your life, because when you shut down that part of who you are, right, that God has created you to be, your creativity, your ability to pursue pleasure that is non-sex act related, that involves your purpose, is completely shut down. Or if at best it's trickling out, because you really can't shut that part of yourself down. And if you do that, you are literally harming who you are. We have put people in positions to hurt themselves because we're having low-level conversations about sexuality, because we're making it only about the sex act. Okay? That's wrong. That's weird. That is strange. That needs to stop immediately. Okay? Which is why I am here, to help y'all out. Okay? Let's talk about it. So now let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about sexuality. Let's talk about your sexual energy. Let's talk about, okay, your ability to express sexual energy beyond the bedroom, right? Your creativity, your ability to pursue pleasure. Let's just think about that. Let's come up higher. This entire conversation right now is raising your sexual intelligence if you are listening, right? It's raising your sexual intelligence if you are listening, if you're listening very carefully. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. The other thing that I wanted to share, if you understand that, which I'm going to briefly say it. We have one more episode for this season. We're doing 26 episodes for the Good Sex Talk Show. For the summer, it's gone into fall right now, but for the summer session, we're doing 26 episodes, okay? So this is episode 25. Praise the Lord. We'll do episode 26 here coming up soon. So I'll talk about this more in the season finale, but I'll give you a little preview. If I am able, right, to become aware, or I am made aware, and I sit with it, and I meditate, and I think about it, right, that my sexual energy is not chained to the sex act, right, that it actually is present in other areas of my life to help me create the life, right, and live the life that I was literally created for. Okay? If that is part of me expressing my sexual energy, and I really want to help people, and I'll keep saying it until we get it, right? That sexuality is not about sex. It's like this much of it is about sex. Okay? So if I'm able to be made aware of that, and I'm able to sit in that my sexual expression is more than what can happen in the bedroom, I have the ability then, which is very important, to make decisions around the expression of my sexual energy. I now have been given the freedom to make decisions because I'm a human. I have the ability to think. I have the ability to choose, right? I've been made with free will. That is who I am. So if I can make decisions around my sexuality that has nothing, because I understand once again that it has nothing to do with the sex act, I am giving myself permission to live a full life. Remember that scripture? When Jesus said, I've come that you may live, right, and have life more abundantly. When I am able, this is a very bold statement, but it is the truth. Okay? When I am able to accept that my sexual energy and my sexuality and the expression of my sexual energy is more than what happens in the bedroom, that it is actually my creativity, my ability to birth things into this realm, right, into this earth, my ability to enjoy life, my ability to enjoy the pursuit of my purpose. If I understand that there's a bigger picture around sexuality, I'm not going to get bogged down in the do's and don'ts about it, because I'm at a higher plane. That's not even a part of the conversation right now. So then I can make a decision of how can I now harness this energy. And you felt it before. I was feeling it today. Like I was feeling like really antsy, like, I need to create something, right? I need to do something. And then I put my computer on and we had some issues there, right? Because I love to get on Canva. I'm like a Canva person. Get on there and create all kinds of different graphics. If you see on my page, all of the graphics that you see on here, except for my border that was created for me, it's all me. I love doing that. That's part of my sexual energy expressing itself, because we do have to really work hard to divorce the sex act from sexual energy and its expression, right? So that is what I wanted to share with you today. And I want you to know, baby girl, baby boy, okay, that you listening to this conversation tonight, that you being a part of this conversation tonight is actually raising your sexual IQ, okay? So congratulations. You have higher IQ, sexual IQ, than the people around you in this moment. But make sure, don't keep this for yourself. Share the video. Start having, this is a great conversation starter for any parties that you may be going to tonight or tomorrow, okay? Or with your children. This is a great conversation to have with your spouse, whoever your partner is. Start talking about it. Like, hey, babe, did you ever consider that our sexuality isn't only about us having sex? That is so much more than that. That is actually our creativity, our ability to create a life, right? Create our bliss, live our truth, walk in purpose. That once I let go of all of the hang-ups and lies that I believe that they told me about sex, right? And sexuality, right? And my sexual energy and how I need to, it's unruly and I need to whip that thing into place, right? It's not unruly. It's only hard to control because we think it's only for sex, the sex act. That's why it's hard. Come on now, Jesus. That's why it's hard for you to control it. Because you've put it in a prison that it doesn't belong in. You've put it in a box that it wasn't given for you to put in that box. Right? It was given to you to express life. It is your life force energy. It is your desire to create and be more and live more. That is your sexual energy. Okay, I know it's like you're hearing it and I am saying, and I know people are still hearing sex, sex, sex. Come on now, cut it out. Cut it out. Sexual energy is much more than the sex act, all right? So that is the lesson for today, for tonight, my beautiful, beautiful lovers of life, okay? I'm so glad that you joined me tonight. I'm humbled. For all my replay viewers, if you have questions and you want me to expand on anything that I have talked about today, that you're just like, yo, coach, I don't know about that one thing that you said, help me understand it, I will come on here and we will have this conversation. I promise you, there is no shame. I am not ashamed of the gospel of pleasure. I am not ashamed of it. Okay? Because it is a gospel of freedom. I have come to proclaim liberty to those who are in prison. Come on out. The reason why the Bible said he came to proclaim liberty and not open because the door already open. You still in prison in your mind. Come on out. Come on out. Let's get on out of there, okay? Let go all those lies. Let go of that stuff that's limiting you. It's okay, okay? Just because you accept that you are a sexual being does not mean that you're about to go out and do a whole bunch of crazy, dangerous, unhealthy stuff. That's not true. What it means is that you're giving yourself permission to be alive. Woo, come on. That's worth it. That was free. Man, I should charge y'all for this. Okay, this was not free 99 information that I gave you all today, but I gave it to you anyway because I know that you need to hear it. I know that is important, okay? I'm giving that to you for free, but it's not free because I am a coach and I do charge for the information that I do give, okay? So receive that, write it down, take notes, put on a Post-it, put on your mirror where you can see it. Talk to your boyfriend, girlfriends, wife, husband, okay, partners. Talk to them about it, your kids, your cousins, your sisters. Talk to them about it and see what they think. And let's collectively raise our sexual IQ so that we can start actually being the humans that we were created to be, the creators. We are creators, right? We were created to create. So step into it. Embrace it. Get in alignment with it, okay? Integrate all of it. Integrate your sexuality. Integrate your emotional self. Integrate your spiritual self. Bring it all together, okay? Step into your joy. Step into your joy. You can do it. If you are struggling to do it, slide in my DMs. If you are a mother that you have teenage girls at home, and this conversation, as I'm talking about it, is like, oh my goodness, I don't know this. I don't know how to communicate this to them. Slide in my DMs, okay? Because you are the mothers I want to talk with. You are the mothers that I want to coach through this process because I don't want another generation of women growing up the way that I grew up, with all the lies, all the misunderstanding, all of the ignorance, that if it was not for God, I would definitely not be alive, okay? From all of the things that I have done, I should definitely not be alive because of all of the ignorance around this. So this is not like oh, we're just talking a feel-good thing, right? No, this is serious. Us not understanding this is killing people. Even the ones that are walking around smiling, some people are dead on the inside because of the lies that they believe around this. Because, right, if I believe all these lies that I have been told about sex and sexuality specifically, and I'm walking around with a bunch of guilt and shame, I'm dead on the inside. Because condemnation will kill you. That's scripture, okay? That's in the Bible. It'll kill you. But guess what? There's a bigger truth. There's a higher way of being that can set you free, that you can dominate, right? Because freedom is dominion. Freedom is when I have control over a circumstance, right? The freest people in the kingdom, the freest person in the kingdom is the king. You are kings in the earth, okay? And so people think that if you are being, it may be a form of it, if you're being promiscuous and doing all these crazy things, you've been made a slave to your sexual energy. No, not at all. If I am burdened by the do's and don'ts of my religion, of what they told me, of the restrictions that they put around my sexuality and the expression of my sexual energy, because they are limited in thinking that it's only about the sex act and can only be expressed in the sex act, I'm not living. It's serious, right? And if I'm in that place of desperation where I think I messed up or I can't find my way back, there is no way, I can't control. No, you believe in those things is actually what's making you slave to your sexual energy. Because it's this strong, powerful force, right? Our sexual drive is very, very strong. And you try to harness that and put it on the shelf until whenever, because you don't understand that it's not only about the sex act, that it's actually about your creativity and you bringing forth life, right? Not like just a baby, but like birthing things, right? Entities, businesses, ministries, schools, right? Organizations, art, food. If you bringing all those things forth to people, if you don't understand that, yeah, no, definitely. You have become a slave to that thing. While you're thinking that you're not a slave to it because you're following all these rules. You actually being in control of your sexual energy is understanding the fullness of it, appreciating and honoring that it is a strong drive within you, but then having the awareness that it's not only for the sex act. I have said a lot tonight. I hope that you hear me. I hope that you received it. I hope that it's making sense. If it's not making sense, honey, let me know. Because this is real truth right now. You are not free over your sexual energy because you think you're not having sex. Okay? You being celibate, hey Shaq, you being celibate, or you being a virgin, right? But all you can think about is when you can have, you know what I mean? Like if you think that is what, thank you for the heart. If you think that is what is causing you to be free because you have somehow managed to control your sexual drive, you are in that like weird way of limiting who you are by not allowing yourself the full expression of it. You are still actually a slave to that thing. You're deceived, okay? Something's wrong. The elevator isn't going all the way up. And it's not your fault. You've been getting a lot of help to misunderstand that. You acknowledging the highest, right, experience and expression that your sexual energy is supposed to have in your life, which is supposed to take you onto the place of purpose, and you making a decision about that, right? That's you having dominion over it, right? That's you being free in it. Okay? That's you not being imprisoned in it anymore. That's the bigger truth, that it takes a very, very strong person, a very humble person to receive, because as humans, we definitely are more comfortable with rules, right? We feel safer with rules. If somebody tells me I can't do something, I know my boundaries, I know what not to cross, right? More than often, though, like eventually, someone tells you not to do something, you're gonna find a way to do it without getting caught. Okay? So that's why the prison system is full. There's a lot of other reasons why it is. I'm not even gonna get into all that. But if you are thinking that, well, because I control my sexual urges, okay? I control my ability, I control my desire to not have sex, and that's me being in control of my sexual energy. I am free in it. You are lying to yourself, and it's okay. You're okay. I give you space to be not okay. Okay? Let it go. The higher, that's a lower level of living. The higher way to live is you saying, I understand, I agree, I accept that my sexual energy, my sexuality, having sex, the physical sex act, is only a small aspect of my ability to express my sexual energy. My sexual energy is about creativity. It's about bringing forth life. It's about doing all of those beautiful things that I want to do, right? It's about more life. It's about abundant life. And when I do that, that's me expressing, that's me choosing to express it, to take this very, if you think about it, it's like, you know how people, like, there are dams, right, that hold back the water? If you were to take away you having your list of do's and don'ts around sexuality, and this is, you know what, this is very interesting. I'm gonna do a little side note right here. I might have to delete that comment because I know what you're saying. Whoever that is, Mr. Islam. I don't know how the Middle Eastern people always be on my show, and I'm always getting like, now I love y'all who know how to behave yourself. I love the people who know how to behave themselves, but the Middle Eastern boys that be coming on here saying all kinds of different inappropriate things, you are not harnessing, and you have a very low sexual IQ. You need to get your whole life together, okay? Anyway, this is very interesting what I'm talking about today because it's very closely parallels what the Bible calls grace, right? When Paul the Apostle started teaching about grace, everybody was like, oh my God, hey VIP. He was like, oh my God, you telling people to go out and sin. And he was like, no, I'm not telling people to go out and sin. I'm telling you to live up higher, that you don't need to live by a list of what to do and what not to do, that you can live by the Spirit, which is scary because when you're living by the Spirit, is moment by moment and your ability to hear God and what he's telling you to do. And that requires a deeper level of relationship than just listing off of things of what to do and what not to do. That feels more comfortable for people. Okay, so when I'm telling you that you having a list of what to do and what not to do around your sexuality, basically saying, I won't have sex, I won't have sex, I won't have sex, I won't have sex, right? I'm gonna be celibate, I'm gonna be a virgin, I won't even think about sex, nothing wrong with these things. I'm not hard on anybody. Kudos to you if you have been able to do all that stuff. Kudos to you, okay? I'm sure it's been very difficult. So praise the Lord for you. But if that is your understanding of your sexuality, that is only limited to you having sex, you are actually still a slave to that thing. You've been made to believe that you're not, that you somehow are better, right? Your actions, not you maybe you have taken that on as an identity, but you've been made to believe somehow because you made those decisions, nothing wrong with it, but you have been made falsely to believe that you have control over your sexuality because you've chosen not to engage in those things, but actually you've been limited. You put your sexuality in a box that God never told us and never meant for it to be in. He gave us that very strong drive. So think about the dam again. If I'm able to remove my limiting beliefs, my lies that I believe about sexuality, if I'm able to break that dam down, the force of that power to come and affect change in your life. Like, just think about it. You think like, oh, I want to go and live this life, but I'm so tired, I'm working, and you don't even have like the ability to even conceive in your mind a life beyond what you're living right now. You, honey child, honey boo boo, okay, are so chained up. Your sexual energy is so locked down, okay? And then even to the opposite side of things, if you are someone who is like, you know what, my sexual freedom is all about me going out and doing all that stuff, all that stuff, we can all speak on it, okay? That is still not the answer. It's another side, right, of the ditch that we've fallen in, but nobody's on the road yet. Here's the road. There is more to your sexual energy and expressing of it that has to do with your ability to create life, that God called you here. Like you were not an accident. Like he intentionally, before you were in your mother's womb, called you by name to come and be and create something in this earth. The reason, one of the major reasons, and because this is what I talk about, so I do believe this, I believe one of the major reasons that you have not been able to do that is because you have put your sexual energy in a box in the closet, right? For whatever reason, religion, brokenness, right? Lies. You put it back there somewhere, and then you're wondering, like, why can't I create the life that I want? Why can't I see it? Because your ability to create is your life force energy, which is your sexual energy. The reason why you can't conceive it is because you've been made a slave to your sexual energy. You've limited your sexual energy to where it was never meant to be. Woo! Talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Okay? This is good. This is helping me. When I come on here and I share with you all, I'm not sharing from a place of like, I've made it and all these. These are revelations that I need for my life. Yes, in certain instances, right? I have moved beyond this, right? Because I'm living that. My sexual energy is not limited to the sex act, right? Because I am in a season right now where I have created the life that I was put on this planet to live, which is this right here, which is my coaching. Moms with teenage daughters, making it easy for them to have this conversation so that they are certain that their daughters are making right decisions, smart, healthy decisions around sex and sexuality and relationships. That's me going into high schools, into middle schools, having this conversation. That's me, writing the book. Okay? This is literally what I was created to do. This is my life. I'm here to unashamedly tell you, right, that God loves sex, but your sexual energy is way more than that, right? The expression of it is bigger than you thought. And if you would stop having low conversations around sex and sexuality and you come up higher, you will open up, release the force that is already in you to create the life that God has called you to live. I promise you, it's real. It is real. I'm living it. I promise you, it's true. Okay? I'm walking it out right now. All right? So that is it. I can't tell the time. I told you guys earlier, my computer's acting a little strange. Let's pray on it, okay? Because it started acting weird, and I was like, Jesus, this is my entire business on this thing. The screen went blue. I was like, oh, Lord Jesus. And I had to pray on that thing, child. You can pray on your electronics. You will not, devil, touch this thing, okay? Because he's maybe trying to look for everything that he can touch right now, because I am in a good, healthy place in my calling, in my business, in my life. I just have supernatural peace that passes all understanding right now. I don't know how, right? I mean, I do pray in the spirit, I pray in tongues every morning when I walk my dog and all that good stuff, okay? But I have peace. And it's because of these revelations that God's given me. And I want you to have it. We still talk about sexuality. We still talk about the sex act, right? Because there's ideas around that, right? But it's not, we can't major in the minor stuff. The physical sex act is minor. It has huge consequences because we skip the major part of it, which is the 80%, the psychology of it. So let's not minor in the act. Let's major in the psychology, okay? Let's do this thing. Thank you so much. Make sure you share this video. Thank you for joining me. I want you to have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. Enjoy yourself. Look at my dog like, what happened? She's right here causing. Molly, please don't step on that light. Thank you, mama. All right, lovers. I will talk to you next week. Thank you so much for sharing, liking, and commenting. You are the best. All right. Bye.